What are your gifts? What do you desire for yourself? What do you envision for the entire planet? Immerse yourself into the Ascension of the Soul online 2-day conference. Explore your soul's purpose and experience deep connection to all that you are. A collaboration of luminaries here to support you in understanding and remembering your true potential. Brought to you by Soul Search and Portal to Ascension. Now is the time to awaken to our soul's gifts and abilities. Join us October 15th and 16th, 2022.
Beautiful. Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld with two beautiful guests here today talking about this time of soul search awakening with the founder of Soul Search herself, Tanjila Islam, and she's going to introduce our very lovely guest today. So please tell us what's going on.
Hi, Alan. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone who's tuning in. We're so excited to be here. As Alan just showed, Soul Search and Portal to Ascension, we are hosting a 2-day online conference on the Ascension of the Soul, October 15th and 16th. And our wonderful guest here today with us, Raquel Spring, is one of our incredible Ascension expert speakers. And she's also one of our platinum members of Soul Search. And for those of you who haven't been to Soul Search yet, we're at www.soulsearch.io, and we are a global online platform for spirituality and consciousness where you can connect with incredible practitioners and healers like Raquel and learn about different topics. Raquel posts incredible videos as well as blog posts about her work, about updates. She has a beautiful September energy update on there. And there's all types of different information that you can dive into, as well as courses and events. And so our upcoming event, Ascension of the Soul, is super exciting for us, Alan.
It is, but I am very happy we have Raquel here because she is one of my favorite, probably my favorite astrologer, because she, more than anyone else, Raquel, you embody the signs, the symbols, the houses, the planet. I feel them in you when you talk about them. I was just looking at your Black Lilith talk the other day. That was deep and powerful. And there's an aliveness in you in relationship to astrology that makes it come alive in other people. So we're going to do many interviews. So thanks for being here.
But we're so excited. And just to introduce you guys to Raquel Spring, if you have not seen her yet, but she's amazing. She's a 4th generation astrologer from Brazil. And like Alan was mentioning, she's really known for her unique methods and multidimensional approach to astrology, which allows her to dive deep into the heart and soul of any chart. And so she's really diving in from a quantum level and a multidimensional level when she looks at your chart. And Raquel is based out of Sedona, Arizona, where her work today includes mentoring, teaching, writing, videos, retreats, speaking events, and private sessions where she combines techniques with spirit, bringing astrology to many from the eyes of the soul. So we're so blessed and excited to have Raquel here with us today.
Yeah, one more thing before she actually does speak. I know we're going on and on, but I love the evolutionary perspective that you give astrology. So why don't we start there? You know, we're moving, of course, into the Aquarian age. Some people say we're in the Aquarian, but what is this time going to bring us as an Aquarian paradigm unfolds?
Hello, thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Oh my goodness, you too. Yes, astrology is a part of me and it's so alive and well in me. And I'm so grateful to share this passion and this wisdom with as many people as I can. Thank you so much for having me here. It's also a great joy to be a part of Soul Search, which is a community of really souls that are here to usher in this new reality. And more than anything, Soul Search represents that and is the platform for this to come to be. And I'm so grateful. The moment that I saw Soul Search and the vision that it was, I felt deep in my heart that this is something I wanted to be a part of. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Alan. Thank you for that beautiful introduction as well. To answer your question, astrology, as I always say, to me, astrology is a tool that was given to us, humanity, for our evolution. And so that is really the bottom line of astrology to me. And there are many ways that we can use astrology and many things that we can do with astrology. But ultimately, this is what I teach my students. Astrology is designed for humanity's evolution. And so we can see this wisdom played out throughout history and throughout the ages. I mean, astrology has withstood the tests of time and space, cataclysms, and all of the shifts that the world has gone through. And that in and of itself speaks of the intelligence of this conscious system. So this is what I feel when I speak of astrology. This is how I connect with it. And one of the reasons why I have the passion that I do for it, because I see it as an intelligent system that is consciously here to help us with our evolution. So
Well,
I
just had one comment about that strikes me. People say they're born and there's no manual for being human. And you're saying, guess what? We have this whole set of not rules, but ways of being and understanding the nature of human existence. And we just have to decipher it, but it's been given to us. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, as a matter of fact, today, I really do see all of these different stages that we see through the different signs and the houses and all of these different stages of the horoscope as parts of us. These are really parts of us at the end of the day. So when we understand these different frequencies and these different ways, these different archetypes that work through us, we start to see astrology completely different. And from that perspective, Alan, I will tell you that astrology is also a wonderful tool for self-love. You know, I really see the embracing of these archetypes as parts of us. And so many of us live in the denial of it. Like, I don't believe in astrology, but astrology is not a belief system. Astrology is us. We are intertwined. We are astrology. And so to see it this way and not, oh, that doesn't affect me, or I've transcended astrology. I mean, we are astrology. So these archetypes, they experience and express themselves through us, as us, for the purpose of evolution, of humanity, of the planet, of the planets, of the solar system, and beyond.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So where are we going? Tell us if we have we have a map of time right here, a map of time, destiny, and potential. So let's talk about that from this incredible perspective.
That's a broad question.
Well, let's talk about in terms of our evolution, the Aquarian age,
Yes.
and like what Tanjila is doing. That's key to our Aquarian steps of evolution. What she's doing, I mean, is bringing community together, right? And it comes from that vision. So do you want to talk about in terms of the soul search or in terms of like the general evolution of consciousness?
Yes. Well, I see this as a big worldwide movement where all of us starseeds, if you will, that have been hiding behind the door and, you know, with just kind of waiting for it to be safe for us to come out and waiting for that cue. And this is the cue. This is where we're all coming out with everything that we've been preparing for and ultimately what we've incarnated for. So we see people like you, Alan, like, well, I know Alan hasn't been so quiet and hidden, but Tanjila and I as well, with our own gifts and our own services to humanity. And the intention is all the same. We are all here, and we know very well that we are here to bring in this new reality into the existence of humanity. So I see this time for myself as an astrologer as where I am here to help people transition through the stage, because there is a period of time where we transition from the old matrix, the old model, which served its purpose and was very much a necessary part of our reality. And now we are transitioning into a new matrix. This is going to mean that we are going to see life a different way. And so we're in that transition right now of letting go of the old and coming into the new perceptions, because it's going to be based out of these new perceptions that our new reality is going to be created and brought in. Now, there is this energetic sense of urgency as well for this to happen. And this is because on some level, we all know the clock is ticking. And one of the big significators here for this transition, and it doesn't happen overnight, like it really is a very, very long process of a few generations, really, but it is a very important one. And every time that we go through specific landmarks, we reach these pivotal points of like a big wave of energy comes in from this new reality. So we had a really, really significant one in 2020 when Jupiter and Saturn conjuncted at 0 degrees Aquarius. This was just one of them, but a very, very important one, announcing officially the beginning of the Aquarius age coming in. And we've had several of these happen already, like the birth of the internet. When the internet came in was another one. Even before that, the whole concept of the hippies and the hippie movement, really bringing in that starseed energy, the very first stages of rebelling against the system. So we see this energy coming in at pivotal points. And there's another really important one coming in 2024. And this is when the planet Pluto is going to enter Aquarius. And when Pluto enters Aquarius, we are going to see a little tiny dip of Pluto entering Aquarius next year, 2023, but then he retrogrades back. So it's not really until January of 2024 that we fully are going to find ourselves in this new momentum. So Pluto entering Aquarius is going to really, really bring a strong frequency of this new reality matrix that we're bringing in. So until that happens, we have been in this process from 2020 till 2024, 2025 of the slow transition, the breaking down, the people starting to see more and just not settling anymore for what used to be. The big structures, the big corporations are not being able to hold on anymore because people are waking up. So this is a very beautiful collective experience that we're going through. And on some level, we all have our roles to play here. And everybody that is participating in this transition is here for a reason. So there are many of us that are coming together during this time for this reason. And I use astrology to help with this, because the gift of astrology helps us see, yes, a little bit ahead. It helps us look at the greater picture so we don't get lost in the moment. But it also gives us the core sense of responsibility with our role in it all. And so this is where we get to see, for example, I have had the blessing to take a peek at both of your charts, Alan and Tanjila, and we saw so clearly how both of you are extremely and so very aligned with your purpose from an evolutionary perspective, and how that fits into the puzzle of the greater expansion of the collective, the greater awakening of humanity. So this is my passion with astrology, is to help people with my private sessions. I help people understand what their role is, how to navigate this little intricate part of their reality and see the bigger picture where it's all going. And then through my school, the mentorship program, I teach my students how to look at astrology in this way, how to understand the depth, the heart, soul, and essence of the system through everything.
But could you give us a little roadmap? And of course, you jump in too, Tanjila. I don't mean to be.
I was like, let me just get into the question too. Alan is so excited.
Alan,
I have a million questions, especially for someone like Raquel, who's so trained and skilled in this area. It's like I want to know
trying
everything.
to get as much information as he can.
Exactly. I mean, just if I wanted to step in 1 second.
Okay.
Okay,
go ahead,
Alan.
jump in. No, you jump in.
Okay, thank you. No, I just wanted to say, because, I think it's so wonderful, this evolutionary perspective that Raquel brings to astrology, because you're really helping all of us connect to this awakening and ascension that we're all part of. And I love what you were saying about how, each one of us has a role. And, it's obvious, like, your role is so important as an astrologer and bringing through these teachings and this practice and the science to so many. But I mean, I was curious, did you always know that that was your role? And when did you come into that? So, because I think that's something great to share with people, because a lot of times people will be like, oh, she was just born doing that, or he was born with those abilities. And, they feel so distant. But I think, we'd love to hear about your journey a little bit as well.
Thank you so much. Yes. And I'm so glad that you brought this opportunity to talk a little bit about myself as well, because, the reason why I can see astrology in this way and work with astrology in this way is really because of the preparation that I've had behind it, which is a very, the foundational aspect of who I am and what paved the way for me to interact with astrology in this way and to be able to help people today in the way that I do. So I guess the starting point of my reality here in this timeline in planet Earth is that I was born and raised in a cult. And that automatically set me apart from most human beings. And so this was a very radical, very controversial cult, just like they all are. And I was born there. And so that was my reality. That was all I knew. We were not allowed to have contact with the outside world. And we lived together with many, many people, even over 100 people at any given time. And we had a lot of these communes, if you will, spread throughout the world in 180 countries. And so that was my world. That was my reality. It was like a planet within the planet. And it was a whole other experience. And the way that I was brought up was just so radical and so extreme and so intense. And yes, it involved a lot of brainwashing. Yes, it involved a lot of abuse. But, at the end of the day, we all had our own share of that. We all had our own share of the trauma and the necessary experiences that created the catalyst for us to be here where we are today. So even my upbringing in the cult, I don't see that as, something so terrible that happened to me, because yes, it was intense. And yes, I definitely view that in a way that most people should never have to experience the things that I experienced in there. But I am so grateful I did, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. And so one of the things that I did experience there that was very helpful for my preparation was that one of the core truths of the cult was to prepare for the end of days. So our life pretty much revolved around that in many different ways. Some extreme, some radical, some very abusive, and others really powerful. Like, for example, we were taught that in the end of days, we were not going to be able to have contact with other people from other family from the cult. So we had to develop our own connection with God. So we had every single day where we had our time to practice receiving messages from whoever, angels, God, guides. But this was where we practiced and we exercised, and it was because our life pretty much depended on it. So you know, things like that, that became a very normal part of my reality all the way up until the age of 27.
Wow.
When I finally, yes. So that was most of my life. I'm 41 now. So 27 years, that was my reality. That was my world. That was my stage of preparation for all of this. And when I left the cult at age 27, I was so, it was such a deep sense of deception. It felt to me like the deepest and deepest form of betrayal that a heart could ever go through. Because in that, those 27 years, I developed a very strong connection with Jesus as a being and had my own very powerful experiences with it. And so I developed my own heart connection, even though there were the rules and the dogmas and stuff like that. And when I found out that it was all a lie, I was just so distraught. Is that how you say it? Distraught?
Yes, destroy. But maybe it wasn't all a lie. Maybe the way it
No,
was
later, yes, later,
Yeah.
of course. But at the time, I was like, I'm done. I want nothing to do with God, with church, or spirituality. It's all a lie. How could I have been betrayed like this? It was so real to me, my connection with Jesus. I did not want to open anything else of that door. So for the next 3 years, I was really focusing on just kind of finding my way out in the world. And what am I going to do from here on out? And there was one thing that for the previous 10 years before leaving the cult, I had developed a very strong passion and fascination for human behavior. And that started, you know, all the way from the very plain psychological aspect of human behavior, NLP, and, you know, emotional intelligence, and then opening the door to metaphysics and the metaphysical aspect of it all, and just kind of bringing in a little bit of the spiritual here and there, but not. And this was in the cult, and I had to do it hidden because nobody could know that I was accessing information from outside. But I opened that door, and it became a very strong passion for me. So eventually that grew into, of course, I was fascinated with all systems that allowed me to understand human behavior. Numerology, of course, and astrology was always in the back burner because it seemed too complicated. I didn't know that I came from a lineage of astrologers back then, because my parents did not communicate anything about our relatives or anything that was from outside the cult. So after I left the cult, I had a series of very, very, very profound experiences where I thought I was done with spirit. And I thought I was done with the spiritual path. And I definitely closed the door, but the door was barged open beyond my control in 2013. I left in 2009. In 2013, I found out I had cancer. And it really was all of that, the pain, the emotional pain from all of the experiences that I had in the cult and everything that I was carrying from that. And when the very, very first door that I opened, I was like, oh my goodness, where is this coming from? I've been so healthy and I've always tried my best to help other people and be in love. And now this, like, Jesus already abandoned me. Now this, like, so I was just like, okay, now what? I guess the universe wants to pick on me. I mean, I'll just mind my own business and just like be here and die, because I don't know what else to do. It's like everything I do, I just get the worst and the hardest parts of human beings and life and God, and I just want to be normal. So when I went through my process, there was definitely a lot of different stages to this, but very, very profound ones. And that was the very beginning of my spiritual acceleration. So I don't even say my spiritual awakening, because I was already always very awake and very aware as well, even of what I was here to do, even being in the cult. And so for me, it really was this next level heart opening that happened through a series of events, that having cancer was just a very starting point. And when I realized, and I opened up Louise Hay's book on sickness and dense energies in the body. And when I read that mine had to do with deep holding on to deep pain of rejection and abandonment. And I broke down and cried and I said, here it is. There it is. It's proof. And I knew it. All my life, it's been the story of my life over and over again. And people don't even believe when I say that in the cult, I was always in depression. I was crying every day. I was in deep, deep depression. And this is where it's easy for people to see me today. I get a lot of this. Oh, it's easy for you to say that. You're so beautiful and you're so intelligent and you live in Sedona. Well, it didn't start that way. And I think this is the most beautiful and powerful part of my story, because it really shows that it doesn't matter what your story has been. You know, one of the key aspects of my journey that many people who know me know is the path of freedom. This is a core aspect of who I am, and it's the foundation for everything I do, including astrology.
Oh, sorry. No, it just strikes me, and I don't know from an astrological point of view, but everything you've went through seems to be the progression of the Piscean paradigm. Is that true? Could you look at cults and all that and everything from the Piscean? So you were really trained in that deep understanding of the last age. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is a correct way of looking at it. However, our cult was attempting to embody the initial stages of Aquarius as well, because our particular cult, they were called in the beginning the children of God. So if you look up the children of God on the internet, you're going to understand why I'm saying this. And then they changed the name to the family. When I was born, it was already the family. We lived like one big family. So the reason why I say this is because this cult they were very controversial, and they were all about breaking free from the system, including spirituality, which was the irony, because, you know, we had to memorize the Bible from cover to cover, and it was just so much information. But we had our own material that was generated from that. So our founder, he had his connection with God and his way of interpreting the Bible, which was the foundation for us.
But is there something Piscean about cults? Because as we move into Aquarius, we get away from the kind of group mindset and develop the individual genius.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see where you're going with that. You know, it's hard for me to say because I have never really studied cults per se. But one thing that comes to my mind when I hear the word cult is a lot of people living together. And I know that that was something that we also experienced. And to me, that is an attribute of the Aquarius sage, because we are going into living the community. Now, it obviously wasn't done the right way, because another attribute of Aquarius is to really have that equality, because we're all one. So it's not the living together based on the hierarchy. And so this mouthpiece of God, yes, that would be equivalent to the Pisces age. And also the deep quest for spirit and deeper aspects of soul and spirituality. That is part of the Pisces age.
So how do we move?
It's really the enlightenment of it all. And it's like, oh my God, we're all one. We don't need God anymore. We don't need a prophet anymore. We don't need, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So how do we move into the Aquarian? What is the process? You know, what do you see as the values of this next age that, you know, people like Tanjila and her organization and other people to really highlight the map of something unknown and never created before in this modern world, at least? What is
And
it?
just to add to that, also, like Raquel, you talked about your journey being the path to freedom. And is that really what we can think of for all of us as we move into this Aquarian age? Is this a journey into freedom for all of us, you know, moving beyond whatever, whether it's a cult, but we're all, you know, during this Piscean age, we're all, you know, inframed within our own structures of family, society, culture, and religion. And so your journey, which is incredible and inspirational, this path to freedom, you know, how can we view this also for each and every one of us and us as a collective moving into the Aquarian?
Beautiful. You know, freedom is definitely a very big theme for all of us moving forward. And I feel like this is partly why I had to go through such an extreme experience and be on the path of freedom as well, because this is going to be, I mean, it already is the quest for freedom that humanity is in. So collectively, we are calling this in, you know, and so in many ways, I have been paving the way, and definitely I have a book to be written on that as well, because I've definitely had a very interesting path with a journey with this path. And astrology came in this way, actually. So a few years later, after opening the door to spirituality once again through this experience, because I learned that I had to open up the heart and forgive and love, because it wasn't about them. I was the one carrying the pain and so forth. That was just the very, 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 very beginning and the tip of the iceberg into a brand new stage of my reality. And this is really where my journey with the path of freedom consciously began. And so I went through many, many different experiences throughout that. And in 2015, I opened the door to astrology for the first time. And because astrology came into my life as I was having this very rapid acceleration of my spiritual experiences, astrology came in this wave, and it was a part of my spiritual awakening or acceleration. So astrology came to me in a really unique way. I had very profound, for a year and a half, every single night, I had experiences with astrology. And I feel that partly this is why I can relate to it in this way. But it's like I was taught very fast in a very short amount of time. My father also told me, by that time I had already left the cult, and my father saw me looking at astrology, and, oh yeah, by the way, we come from a long lineage of astrologers. So that's how he told me about this. And I researched, I contacted my relatives, I still have an uncle today that tours the world and does and talks. And I was like, wow. So when astrology came into my life, at that moment, it only added to my experience and understanding of freedom, because freedom to me had many different stages, and astrology was such a crucial part of my experience of freedom, because not only it gave me full responsibility of my reality. It's like, here you go. No reason to complain, no reason to say I didn't warn you, you didn't know, you have time to prepare, here it is. And it also really made me reach further within myself through these archetypes to understand not only myself and my personality or my journey, but really the context of all creation. So all of a sudden, I was like playing on a whole other field. And this was not just about Raquel Spring or even about helping humanity or the world. I mean, this was mind-blowing and humbling and powerful. And I will tell you that my experience of freedom took on a whole other level after that. So today, what I can say is that I do see humanity opening this door collectively, that they are ready for freedom. So the very first step over here that we need to be aware of is that the freedom we are transitioning into right now is freedom of perception. Freedom of perception. And this is the key for us to really bring in the new reality, because there are aspects of the human biology and the functions of the brain and the programming and so forth that are used to operating a certain way. We're used to eating a certain way or conducting our lives in certain ways. And those ways have reached a maximum point of evolution. And now it's ready for us to take that quantum leap. We are ready for that. So to answer your question in a short way, Tanjila, freedom for humanity really is about allowing this transition to occur. This is going to mean that some of our jobs and our work habits are not going to work anymore. Some of our relationships are going to start to apparently break down or move on. And many of us are going through this collective loss of identity, this death of identity, which is very profound. And I understand, I've been there many times. And I know you also have, both of you. So this death of identity is very scary if we don't know what's on the other side. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the beautiful things about astrology, is that it helps us see what's on the other side. Now, not the little details, because we are creating as we go, but what's on the other side. To answer Alan's question, about the Aquarius age. And this is really about understanding that now we are opening up to new ways of viewing life, new ways of operating, new structures for our systems, and aligning ourselves with that. Because from 2024 and especially 2025 on, it's going to happen so fast. And this is the threshold where we're going to start opening up to a very accelerated, even technologically advanced way of living. Okay, now, again, this is not going to happen overnight, but things are going to start coming in very fast. This is where the old right now is just more and more. This is why people are not even relating so much anymore to the old platforms and social media, and the whole is just not quite doing it anymore. And people are ready for the new. They're ready for the new upgraded mind, which is the cosmic mind. This is the energy of Aquarius, is to be plugged in directly to the cosmic mind. You know, the symbol of Aquarius is not water, it's the cosmos.
Yeah. No, great. That's why we're soul searching, because that is the key to the next level. Because I love what you said, the freedom of perception. This is something I've been studying with new realities, because what is the nature of reality anyway? And when you say it's opening up to the cosmos, of course, we bring in my good friends and Tanjila and all of it, the ET awareness, because obviously when we're talking about the cosmos, we're not talking about life and consciousness just on a human level. So I know the Uranian energy is key to the Aquarian revolution. So for my own like personal interest, how does that tie into the ETs? What does that look like as we meet the others?
Oh my goodness. I mean, we can already see this filtering in and streaming into our reality, where we have been over the past few decades, we have been more and more calling in this energy of Aquarius through the connection with consciousness and life in other planets. We are embracing this as part of our new reality more and more. And so, my dear, everybody that I meet that is somehow involved with this work, I say, you guys are at the right place at the right time, because this is about to become the next biggest thing. I mean, it already has been gradually growing and growing, but I really do see it. It's like these pivotal points. So the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction at zero Aquarius was one of them in 2020. The other one coming up is Pluto entering Aquarius. These are all catalysts where we see a massive quantum leap of this energy coming in and us ushering in more and more of the experience. So I'm going to tell you, from 2024, 2025 on, I mean, it's not going to be too far away before we are pretty much making contact with them. And they are a very real part of our reality. And really, this is what it's all about. They are easing us into the process, because at the end of the day, we're not alone. At the end of the day, the Aquarius age is about the one consciousness and the connection, the web, the connection through the web, but not only with humanity. We are also being given the opportunity to have that connection with other forms of life throughout the solar system and the cosmos. So more than ever, this is time. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. And I think, Raquel, just knowing that, you know, this 2024 is very close for us, you know, and so we can expect this next leap in consciousness coming forth very quickly. And I just wanted to ask you to follow up on Alan's question, our connection with the galactics coming forth more strongly, but also what about our connections to our own supernatural abilities? You know, are we going to see the supernatural become more natural for us in terms of, you know, all of these abilities that we once had and we still do have, but that have now become distant, such as telepathy or teleportation? How does any of that factor in with the age of Aquarius?
Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. And yes, that is absolutely a very important part of our new reality coming in. It's all of these gifts and abilities. You know, this energy of Aquarius is very much, like I said, associated with the cosmic mind. It is associated with a very activating energy that is electrical in nature. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is energy, it's electricity, all the way from the electricity in the mind of God, all the way to the electricity in our nervous system and neurons in our body. And it really is this connection, this energetic electrical connection with God that we experience through Aquarius. And I can feel Alan vibrating here like, yes. Because Alan has so much Aquarius energy. We were talking about it, and I know, Alan, you are one of the leaders of bringing this energy, and I know that. And so people that have a lot of a strong Aquarius in their charts or connection with the Aquarius energy, it's like they are very they're connected with the mind of God, the great idea, and the power therein. And so connecting with this power, anything is possible. And it really is, the energy of Aquarius really is about bringing in the new. This is very important, even for us to understand why our abilities are being increased and why telepathy, for example, is going to become a normal thing for us. Because, Aquarius, first of all, Aquarius is a very spiritual energy. Definitely very, very spiritual, but it is also related to freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from the status quo, freedom from the old, freedom from the known. If you go and see at the stages of the signs, Aquarius is the one before last. So Aquarius is where our bubble of reality, as per the ego, is totally popped. And it's like, oh my God, it was all an illusion. And you become one with the mind of God. So when you get to the stage of Aquarius, you're ready to bring in the revelations. That's why Aquarius is so revolutionary. Aquarius is also very future oriented. It is a sign that is related to science, and metaphysics. And so it really is about bringing the new solutions from the future into the now. And in this way, Aquarius is very much of a futuristic energy. And this is where we see the momentum for technology as well to come in, because of the advancement of the human awareness that comes through Aquarius. And so with that advancement, we get to choose, well, how do we get to take better care of the land? How do we get to nourish our body in new and different ways? How do we get to communicate now through energy and through the mind? And we start to explore all these futuristic new ways of doing things, including spirituality. So Aquarius, because Aquarius is a very spiritual energy, they all are, but Aquarius really is about expanding from the ego. It's the expansion from the ego and into the oneness of life. This is an energy that also, together with the component of air, Aquarius is an air sign. And out of all the three air signs, Aquarius is the one that holds the highest intelligence. So we have the different stages of the mind. Gemini is the beginning. Libra is the second, it's the more eloquent. They're more into elegance and peace and order. And Aquarius, it just wants to help humanity. So the air that comes in from Aquarius really is about using communication and connection in an evolved way, ultimately to benefit humanity. And so the ability for telepathy to occur through Aquarius is higher than any other sign. Maybe Pisces, because Pisces is just but Pisces is more about the soul, and it's about the emotion, the empathy aspect of union. And Aquarius really is the mind. It's the telepathy. It's the genius within. So along with those two things, we have a very, very strong energy right now that is assisting us with a level of illumination. This is an illumination that comes from spirit. It comes in through freedom, because this is the time for freedom. It comes in through an upgrade of ourselves, an upgrade of our mind, our capacity to understand, and to all of that. It's just, we're receiving an upgrade. So with that, we experience things like ascension or awakening. You know, this is really, at the end of the day, if you want to just keep it plain and simple, we're having a genetic mutation. We're having an evolution of the biology of the physical body together with the awareness and spirit. Now, this is going to be a very long process that we're going to go through many stages of it, but this is why we're having also collective bursts of awakening and the enhancing of gifts all across the board throughout the world.
I was going to ask you about that process because we are moving into Aquarius, but is that like a couple of 100 years? Because we're still seeing signs of Piscean warfare and corporate greed. So there's no starting date. It's like watching the sunrise, but at one point you do see the sunrise, even though it's starting to get lighter and lighter. So is there a point, yes, 2024, but do you see a point where we just land in that, and the old ways of the awfulness that have haunted us for last maybe 5,000, 10,000 years will give birth to something that is the flowering of humanity, I call it.
Yeah. You know, I haven't studied astrology that far out yet. I do go piece by piece, little bit at a time, but I will tell you that, and also like we go through different stages of what that means. There is no like, okay, this is the date where humanity is free. And even our concept of freedom is just always going to be changing too. It really is the concept of like going from one matrix to another, basically. So even the aspect of complete freedom is, you know, the ultimate freedom is within. And so whether you're in this body or in another vessel, it really is about understanding that at the end of the day. But I do see what you mean about the structures of society changing and so forth. And I will say that we still do have a nice, good, solid 10 years here of the restructuring of all of this, because we are looking also at the outer planets that are going to be changing signs. This is Pluto, who is now in Capricorn. He's the first one to change. He's entering Aquarius. This is going to be the first big burst. But then we also have the other planets, which are Neptune and Uranus, who rules Aquarius. They're also going to be changing signs throughout the next few years. Another pivotal moment here is Chiron. Chiron is going to be returning within the next few years as well. And this is going to be a big deal. I don't think there is any astrologer talking about this yet, but I find this a very profound moment because Chiron was the doorway for the star seeds to come through and open that door to the metaphysical and multidimensional gifts and aspects of ourselves. This is where astrology came in when Chiron was discovered in 77, and all of these other movements started to rise with the birth of Chiron, when Chiron came into the picture. And so this cycle that we're completing with Chiron now is going to be the very first full return since we discovered Chiron. And that's going to be a pivotal point for humanity. This is going to be a pivotal point for these gifts and abilities that I've been talking about, that Tanjila asked about, because I feel like now we completed a full cycle of Chiron as the wounded, understanding ourselves through the forgiving, the compassion, the healing, the carrying our DNA, our lineage's DNA and transmuting all the stuff. And then after the return happens, it's like now the superpowers are going to be on. So we have all these stages to go through still. And each one of these alignments marks another pivotal coming in of this new reality. So I will say that, for this next decade, we're going to be really focusing on the restructuring and what does it look like, because it can go many different directions too, even with technology coming in. So
I just love your excitement about the movement of time. It's just like every minute is so rich for you and full of potentials and different, and you're mapping in a beautiful way. So Tanjila, this is the ascension process that you are planning out for your big conference coming up, right?
Exactly, exactly. And so, I mean, this is, what an amazing introduction to the ascension, to the awakening. And, we're so lucky to have Raquel here with us, who's going to be sharing even more about the age of Aquarius and the evolution of humanity. And you can just see from this talk here, like there's so much that astrology gives us in terms of a roadmap of where we're going. Look at where we've been and where we're going on so many different levels, from the individual level, if you're looking at your own chart, to the collective level. So I mean, what you're sharing with us, Raquel, is incredible, because it just shows us that this is not just some sort of etheric woo-woo topic, that we can actually study the cycles of time and where we've been, and really dive deeper to see where we're going. So we're excited to be delving even deeper with you at the Ascension of the Soul Conference, October 15th and 16th, where, as you see, Raquel is an incredible ascension expert.
So let me just ask, though, like a couple of final questions, and let's just sum it up, because you're saying we are in a revolution that has not existed before, and it's consciousness, but it's biological. So if you had your vision, what would the world look like in 10, 15, 100 years? What is that when it lands? How do you see it? Whatever you want to channel through, I'm just curious about your vision. And you too,
Oh,
Tanjila.
I see humanity just waking up more and more. We are definitely going through different stages of this. This revolution aspect is going to be very intense for the rest of the year. But after that, this momentum is going to come in for new leaders. I've been calling this the new leaders that are rising. This is going to begin at the beginning of the year next year. This wave was ushered in March and April and May, with Neptune and Jupiter conjunction in Pisces. And then right after that, Jupiter entered Aries, and we saw the initial stages of the new leaders coming in. And then now, in the next year, these new leaders are going to really come in full force, and that is you and me. And so this is why I'm so excited to support these types of collaborations and creations, because this is very, very exciting. So as we navigate through these different stages, I see the momentum of awareness building like never before. And I see the exploration of creation through that awareness. I see powerful unions that are going to be coming together, and that already are, and that are going to be coming together consciously as souls, coming together not to procreate, but to create. And so this is a whole other level of awareness. It's not, let's build a family. How can you satisfy me? This is going to be very powerful couples that are going to be coming together with this awareness. And in this, there is going to be a new form of leadership, a new standard for relationships and what that means to us. So based on that, I definitely see a lot of people that are just more aware and just being able to say, no, this is not healthy for me. I'm not going to do that. And making the choices that are going to support the ever constant evolution that we're going to continue going through. So with that awareness, I do see, like, for example, government structures, they have all the help from the universe and all the potential to, instead of being one person, the president or this, the government and being key people, I see it being more of like a one cell organism, a structure that maybe the powers are going to be given to the state instead of to the country, or just different ways where we get to create as a community more and participate more. And so the state gets to choose, the parents get to choose what type of environment they want their kids to be in school, what we want to teach our children, what we want to feed them. And so I see like humanity just more actively participating in the decision of the structures of our system.
Definitely. I was just looking for some stuff to pull up on the screen to promote some of your upcoming courses there. And you sent me the link about the North Node and Uranus conjunct in Taurus, time to go into action. Is that something?
Yes, that's a bonus that I'm offering to anybody who wants to just experience a little bit more of my work. So this was a private video that workshop that I did with my community. And this video was talking about the moment of now. What are we experiencing now? Because right now there is an energy that I've been calling time to go, time for action. And we're all getting that fire lit somewhere in our charts. And this is in the Taurus zone of our charts. So in this workshop, I'm helping you understand the energies of now. And I go in depth also about like what to look for in your chart, how to see which house this is happening in for you. And then to be able to help you navigate this month of September and the big choices that most of us are having to make right now. So yeah, that's a bonus that I included about the energies of now.
And this is your website, which great picture of you there, isn't it? And
yeah, it's raquelspring.com.
Yes, raquelsprings.com. Astrology runs deep in my lineage and in my soul. I can see it's like it's so much a part of your perspective on the world because it fully maps it out for you.
Yes,
it
does. And you know, there's many places where you can find me. You can definitely sign up for my newsletter, which is where everything funnels into. There are private readings with me. You can learn astrology. There are my, the quote cards for my Instagram. You can find me on Instagram, Raquel Spring Astrology, Facebook as well. And so there's different ways that you can either work with me or be a part of this community that I have this beautiful, beautiful community from all over the world where I help people on many different levels to navigate this transition through monthly updates, energy readings, individual sessions. And in the event with Soul Search that we're doing, this conference, it really is going to be this deep dive into this aspect of the transition, the Aquarius age that's coming in, and what our role and our participation in it is.
Great. Well, I definitely want to do some Aquarian talks with you back in Sedona. But Tanjila, talk about the whole perspective, because your organization is educating people on the foundations of a new consciousness. So talk a little bit about your idea about doing this online conference and why you're doing this,
Sure. I mean, well, because, like Raquel has been talking about, we are now here during this age of Aquarius. We have this completely new paradigm that we're stepping into, a new matrix that we're all co-creating together. And so many of us in the spiritual community, we speak about this all the time. But, there are so many aspects. There's so many layers. I mean, we just went deep with Raquel going into an astrological perspective. And then, but we have so many amazing expert speakers looking at it from the Akashic records, taking a look at interpersonal relationships, health, your body. So there's just so many different aspects to the ascension and what it is. And so we really wanted to put together this conference so we could bring together our expert speakers to really give their downloads on what's happening, what this means for each one of us, and how can we go deeper. And so many people out there are not even familiar with the ascension, with what's happening, what are we going through, what are we going into. And part of our whole mission at Soul Search is to really help people begin to explore themselves and expand their consciousness so that we can all rise together as we move into this new age and consciously co-create this new humanity of oneness. And so this conference is our way of bringing together these incredible speakers like Raquel to share their wisdom, share their knowledge, give us their own unique perspective on what's happening for the collective and for us as individuals, and then a pathway to go deeper together.
Right. So how can they register for the conference?
So they can register by going to soulsearch.io/ascension conference, and they'll be able to register there. And it's a 2-day online conference, and the replays will be available. So, you know, this will be a really fast-paced conference where you're going to be interacting with 25 speakers, getting one download after another. And if there's particular talks and experiences that have felt very powerful, you're able to go back and visit those anytime. And you're also able to connect with all of our speakers and practitioners at any time through Soul Search. So we're really excited to be presenting this conference to the world, and it's just the first of many conferences that we're going to be bringing forward for people to really start this journey together, because that's another thing. We want people to know that you're not alone wherever you are in your process, in your journey. You know, you have a whole community of people here with you, supporting you in so many different ways, on so many different levels.
And it's an evolutionary community, like how evolutionary Raquel is in astrology. Everyone at this conference is speaking about reality from an evolved place, from a new perspective, which is so exciting for me, because I've been planning new realities for the last 20 something years. So here we are.
So you've been paving the way, Alan, and we're now here to help support you and everyone else in this
so
journey.
much respect for you, Alan. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Really, I'm just doing what I didn't think I was doing anything unusual. I just did what I felt compelled to do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it inside the old box. You're right, freedom, because I needed freedom to think differently. And I was encouraged by my father, I have to say, not my mother, who was very traditional, but my father was a seeker. And he was a businessman, but after he had completed his business, he started to do meditation. He started to do group encounters. So it gave me permission to investigate this whole other realm, which is what I've been doing. So, and that's why I love what both of you are doing. You're leading a community of awakening. And particularly, I mean, I love the astrology and Soul Search. I should show a little promo for what Soul Search is all about. Are you ready for that, Tanjila?
Sure.
All right. This is the Soul Search promo, and we'll come back to Raquel after I finish this. So this is it. Do you see that on your screen? Here we go.
During these extraordinary times, are you seeking friends and collaborators, like-minded, brilliant, beautiful souls who want to be a part of creating the new earth? Here is the answer. Welcome to Soul Search. Soul Search is the high-frequency global online destination for spirituality and consciousness, where people from around the globe like you come together for spiritual exploration. This is a multi-dimensional community for spiritual seekers, healers, teachers, and guides for the global awakening. With Soul Search, the spiritual seeker can easily search for and connect with healing modalities, spiritual teachings, practices, and practitioners. You can explore high vibrational online and in-person spiritual events across the globe. Within the Soul Search community, you can join groups or take courses for your spiritual journey. With Soul Search, you are part of an inclusive, growing global community for consciousness. For spiritually conscious practitioners, Soul Search connects you to a global audience seeking your services. Build your credibility with a robust profile that demonstrates your expertise and experience. Post client reviews, articles, videos, photos, and audio. You can create secure and private online communities for your groups and clients. Be a part of an awakening community for spirituality where you can collaborate and connect with practitioners and seekers. Whether you are a spiritual seeker, healer, or just curious, join soulsearch.io today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of our high vibrational community for the global awakening. We're excited to be connecting with your soul and radiant light.
Soul Search. Find yourself and find other people too. So beautiful, beautiful. So two beautiful women leading our community onward into the future. And so how do people join Soul Search? They go there. I mean, they sign up.
You can just go to soulsearch.io and you can sign up there. You can join our community where you can interact with others, and you can also search for and connect with a wide variety of healers and practitioners. If you go to Raquel's profile, you'll see she has over 50 incredible raving reviews from people who have worked with her and had sessions and are her students, which is such a huge testament to Raquel and who she is as an astrologer, but also as a teacher, a healer, and a guide. So, it's just so incredible to be bringing this community together. I love it. And, just thank you and Alan and Raquel for being a part of, this grand experiment that we're all going through together.
Yeah, I mean, what a visionary you are to create this. And you're not just creating it as a business platform. This is something you live and breathe, because I know you, hang out with you. This is your life. And of course, Raquel is just a walking astrology phenomena. So it's been great. I can't wait to return to Sedona and jump back in the Red Rocks and the waters and the community there. But, hopefully this community is becoming worldwide and we are planting seeds all over. So I'm excited. Yeah. Good luck with the conference. And Raquel, I know you're just going to keep accelerating. Oh, can people do private sessions with you and all that, Raquel?
Absolutely. It is a life-changing experience, and I guarantee that. So I look forward to it. It's actually my favorite part of my work is when I do private sessions, because we go so deep together, and it's such a beautiful and intimate experience from soul to soul that it's the gold of what I do. I love it.
Right. Wow.
And Alan, I know you've had a session with Raquel, as have I, and I just want to share what an incredible experience it was, because Raquel is giving you a reading beyond a reading. It's such a multi-dimensional deep dive and exploration into who you are on so many levels. And I have to say that even as I've continued my journey with Soul Search, I do go back to her reading with me and think about the things that she said and think about my own personal journey as I'm moving forward with this and with the collective. And it's been very powerful. So, she is a powerful healer on every level, and doing a session with her is incredible. And for those of you who want to continue diving deep into Raquel's story, she's actually going to be on the Global Peace Tribe, the Awakening World Show this Friday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific on globalpeacetribe.com. And you will hear Raquel Spring's extraordinary story of freedom. So if you guys want to continue that journey and that exploration with Raquel, she'll be doing a deep dive there this Friday.
And you can also see it here on New Realities, because I do all the podcasts. And I do want to say Raquel's reading tells you the part that you knew about yourself, but more of what you didn't know about what you know, is one way to put it. Like, she uncovers the pieces that brings you deeper into your own awareness. So
yes. And if I may just share as a final wrapping up and bringing what you two said, and thank you so much for what you shared as well. It was such a joy to connect with your chart and see so deeply in that way. My work with astrology really is to help you understand the core reason of why you're here. And so my last and final words as I wrap this up is that each of us has our own unique process within this collective transition. So yes, we do have the collective thing that is happening here, but we also have our own individual blossoming into a new reality, into a new stage of our awareness, into a new life, really. So in this blossoming that we're all going through, it's such a beautiful and tender time that I want to encourage you, as my last and final words, to focus on this rebirth. Instead of focusing on what is no longer here, focus on who you are becoming. What do you identify with? Where are you feeling pulled to go next? Who are the people that you feel you're ready to engage with? What are the things about yourself that you're ready to take another step, open that door, explore your gifts? And this is what I want to really emphasize here as we close this, is to take your time to explore the new you of who you are. And of course, astrology is such a wonderful tool to help you understand that from the greater perspective. This is neutral. It is not based on good or bad, right or wrong. It really is what is in the most harmony with the blueprint of who and what you came here to be. So focus on yourself. Don't worry about the things that are dissolving. It's supposed to happen. You signed up for this. And really take your time to understand the new matrix that we're operating in, our new understanding and concept of time. Spend your time understanding that and opening yourself up to the new advancements that are coming into your life through that. And the quicker you do that, the quicker we're all going to transition into this new reality, and the easier it's going to be for you too. So
wow. I love how many times you mentioned the new reality or new realities.
Yeah.
That's been my theme. And thank you for helping to usher in the unknown. What did you say about the unknown? We're discovering the unknown or something like that. And we have a map, which is so fantastic. It's what to do with the map is up to us.
Exactly. Everything about our reality is different. The way we work, the way we play, the way we relate to others, our relationships, our children, our concept of finances, of education, of spirituality, it's all changing. So it really becomes about, even if you have to put a time out to everything, go within, discover who you are becoming. This is the new biggest thing. I mean, discover the new reality that you are becoming.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you both for a beautiful, beautiful evening here as the sun sets in New York and the climate change and the weather. We move into fall and we're in change. So blessings to everyone watching. Thank you, everyone in the live chat. Thank you, Neil Gore, Portal to Ascension, of course, Tanjila, for Soul Search, and my dear friend Raquel Spring. I'm Alan
Yes, thank you
Steinfeld.
so much, Alan, and thank you, Raquel, for your beautiful gifts of wisdom here today. And we're excited to continue exploring with you.
Definitely.
Thank you both. Thank you all. I'm excited to be with you all in person at the conference.